Hello again, Scooby Gang. My name is Shadow, and welcome to a brand new series that I'm going to start here. See if you guys are interested in it or not. And we'll do 3 episodes and see if you guys are actually wanting to stick around for more. So if you do like this series, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know by hitting those like buttons, and I will do more of these. If it doesn't pick up after the 3rd episode, I'll probably just stop, but we'll see. Just trying to get a little bit more out there other than just doing roller coaster videos and stuff like that. So here is what's happening. We are going to be playing Dark Souls 3. It is a solo run. What we're kind of doing is I wanted to do something different. The past 2 games I've played more of a dex build, and this one I wanted to do something different because in Dark Souls 3 the bow is actually good. It's not just an accessory that you can kind of just, have it out when you need it to draw creatures towards you. You can actually use it as a main weapon. It is possible. So far, I've beat the first 2 bosses using just the bow, and I may have cheated a little bit on the first boss by using some black fire bombs, but you don't have enough arrows, basically, to start with. But in the beginning, though, so what we're going to do is just play through Dark Souls 3. And what I'm doing is it's not just a straight archery build. I do have a weapon that I plan on using. Think of this as more like a ranger type build. The idea is using the bow as much as possible, but we're going to have twin swords as basically kind of a backup if we need to. I'm going to try to beat the bosses using just the bow whenever possible. But I will probably use the swords throughout the rest of the game to get to the boss when needed. Because you can only hold 100 arrows, 200 at most. You can have different ones in there, but you can only hold 100, or actually 99 standard arrows, and only 99 of the wood arrows, which are your 2 basic arrows. So you can also have fire arrows, poison arrows, and you can kind of swap those out as needed. But, yeah. This is basically the idea behind it. So I hope you guys enjoy this video series. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the build and kind of show off basically how I start the game. And hey, if you guys want to try this out yourselves, it's possible. It is not easy. Definitely not easy. But yeah, let's get on into the actual build. So let's move on. Okay, so here is the build starting out. I went with a thief class because the thief is the only one that actually starts off with a bow, and it's the short bow, which is an excellent bow. The composite bow is also a great bow, but you don't have that to start off with. I also started off with the black fire bombs because you only get 30 arrows to start off with, and it is possible to beat the boss, but I would say go this route because you're going to have an easier time. At least starting off until you can kind of level yourself up. Now, something else I'm doing quite a bit different than what I normally do in the other game series that I've played through Dark Souls 1 and 2 is I went with a female character, which I called Kara. And that is, A, I just thought of it as a cool name, and B, it's kind of the same name as Supergirl. So there is that. I'm not a huge Superman fan of any doubt, but Supergirl is kind of cool, so I will give her the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, that was kind of part of the idea why I went with the name. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in this beginning area. I'm just going to grab a couple of souls here and kind of kill what I can. Now, going through this, you only start out with 30 arrows. You need every arrow that you can. And let me tell you, if you die fighting the boss, just restart the game. Because you're not going to have enough arrows to beat the boss after you get killed. It's just not possible. So the object is just basically run through the beginning area, because you can come back to this. You can grab whatever else after you get into the area, you use some souls, you level up. You can come back to this. You run through, grab what you can, get to the first bonfire. Then, you can kind of go up here, you can kill this guy, you can run off, you can get that Titanite shard. Titanite shards, you're going to need those to upgrade your bow. It's going to be a while before you get the composite bow, which is a little better than the short bow, but you're still going to have to use that short bow for a bit. Now, the reason I like the short bow is because it has a really cool effect where you can roll backwards and then throw off a shot. It doesn't do as much damage as like an aim shot and just taking your time, but it does still do damage, and it's great to just kind of roll out and kind of do that. So kind of take the same path as me if you're interested in it. You can try other things, but If you want to play a bow type of character, this is the best way to go, in my opinion. It is not easy. The thief does not have a lot of armor. The thief does not have a lot of vigor, a lot of health. So it's not easy. So what I'm doing right now at this moment is I'm just basically kind of stripping most everything off of her. We're going to equip the black fire bombs. We're going to run in. We're going to, first things first, we're going to pull this sword out of this boss. And this is basically, the rest of this video is going to be me trying to beat this boss here. So I hope you guys enjoy this fight, and you can kind of see how I do it. Another thing is, once it turns into the bigger version of itself, once it transforms into its other personality, shall we say, you want to try to stay under it as much as possible. Don't try to roll away from it, to the left, to the right, backwards. It doesn't work. It's going to hit you. It doesn't give you enough time to regenerate. The best thing to do, if you have to reheal your health, get under it. That's the best thing to do. That was one thing I found after multiple attempts at this. So as you can see, I am doing quite well against it so far. I've already got it almost all the way half down, and this is just using the bow and these black fire bombs. And occasionally, right there, see, that was a row shot. So you row and fire. That is an excellent way to use the bow in close quarters combat. Just got to be careful, you know. A couple of hits is all it takes from this boss, and you are out of the game, and you got to start all the way over. And you got to go back to the start screen. You got to create your character again. There we go. So as you can see, the first boss has transformed into its other form. And you see there, I'm trying to stay under it. See how I'm like rolling and hitting it? There we go, just like that. It doesn't really hit me too much. In fact, I think it's only hit me once or twice so far. And there, yeah, there, it just hit me again. So that's one way of getting past it. The other times I tried this, I tried staying as far as away from possible and tried doing aim shots like that, and it doesn't work because, ooh, that hurt a lot. Still, I'm a survivor. It's a couple more hits and I've got this boss and that's over with. But yeah, see, if you try to stay away from it like that, it's got a long reach. It's faster than you think it is. So try to stay under it as much as possible. That's a good way. Roll quite a bit, and that's all it takes to beat this boss with using just the bow and the black fire bombs. Alright, so now with the boss dead, the next thing you want to do is you want to go over here, you want to hit this bonfire, light that up, get your health. Depending on how many arrows you have left, I think from what I see there, I've got like 10 left. That's not going to be a whole lot. So you don't want to engage in too much more combat after this. So what we want to do is we'll just head on through the gates, and we're going to head on up to Firelink. There's a couple of guys we can kill just to get a few more extra souls, because that's always good. We need those souls to level up. This build does require a lot of leveling as fast as you possibly can. In other words, it's going to be a very slow process. So, you know, as soon as you open the doors, you guys have played this game, you know. If you haven't, well, you're going to grab that, because that's always handy right there. Anytime you see a corpse, it's probably got something handy on it. Even if it's just a soul, even a fading soul can be worth it in this build. There's going to be two guys sitting up here. You can take both these guys out with no problem whatsoever. Just kind of get them out of the grass there, and boom. Like I said, you only have a few arrows left, so you got to make every shot count. If you miss, well, that can kind of hurt. But it's not too far up here. You just have to run up right through those doors right there, and you are in. And what we're going to do is we're going to run up there. We're going to talk to the Firelink Shrine. Now, I will say this. In this video, what I did was I did sort of run past, and I didn't really listen to what she said. I've played through the game at this point before. I already knew everything that she had to say, so I wasn't really thinking about making a video and leaving it, so I'm just going to skip through most of the conversation. You guys would prefer me not to do that. If you want to hear the conversations in the game, make sure you let me know in the comments. If you would prefer me to skip the comments that they talk and just go on into it, then yeah, definitely. I will only do this in the areas where I have personally been before. So after we get past the second boss, I don't know what's coming after that. I really don't. I've never played further than the second boss. So I will most likely, in the videos, you'll be hearing me listen to every conversation because I'm an explorer. I love playing these games and going from there. So the next thing we're going to do, now that we've got the bonfire lit, we can now use our souls to level up. I definitely recommend putting a lot of your first stuff into dexterity. That's going to level up that bow, how much damage you do with it, and that's going to be extremely helpful. Trust me, you want that. You can also kind of go into vigor. Vigor is going to upgrade your health. Health is good too because you're going to be using the bow kind of two-handed, and you're not going to be able to take a shield. You are going to take some hits, so it's always good to do that. But mostly, you kind of want to do dexterity. Once you get the composite bow, I think it also upgrades with strength and dexterity as well. But it's going to be a while before you get to that thing, so yeah, dexterity is going to be mostly what you want. Strength helps a little bit, but not as much as dexterity does. Alright, so with the first boss dead, the bonfire lit, and our leveling up, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments that you guys like it, you want to see more. If you don't, well, I won't record it anymore, but I'm still going to keep playing it anyway. I think it's a great build. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the video. Make sure you click that subscribe button, follow me, upvote, everything you got to do. Later, guys.